Hey folks, just got me a brand new truck accessory for the F-150. I've been using it for camping and other recreation. It has been working out great. I am talking about the deck drawer system, and let's quickly go over my thoughts and impressions on it after a few months of use. So when I got my pickup truck last year, I wanted an accessory that can still access the truck bed and fit in irregular objects for my outdoor recreation, canoe, kayak, camping, and also if I need to load in a washer or a pool or something like that, something that I'm not restricted by putting in a cab or a tonneau cover. So I wanted something that I could be fairly flexible with, but still have some storage. Anybody with a truck knows after a while, the stuff you just need to bring with you in the truck, you carry bins, and the bin situation can quickly get out of control, I think. So I found the DECKED system once I started scanning through the Overland crew, see what they were using, and I basically found this product. And it's really available for full-size pickup trucks. It is available for the Tacoma. Installation process is basically the same. There are a few videos out there that kind of go through the process. When you're shopping for this, you have the installation video from DECKED. There's also a third-party vendor that does a really long 20-minute version. And then there's a Deck Dealer 101 video. So you got about an hour worth of YouTube videos on there. And I watched the one from DECKED installing on the Dodge Ram. And essentially the installation process has been or was identical. There's really only one little difference you have with the Ford F-150 and also the Tacoma. So let me flip around and show you. All right, so basically what holds down the deck is these J-hooks that hook up to your standard tie downs in your truck bed. Now for the F-150 and the Tacoma, the front tie downs are a lot higher, or they're in a different spot than the back ones. So with Ford, you basically have to replace your factory tie downs with an L bracket, which basically just screws in up here where you have your ammo cans. And I'll go through most of the features of the deck here in a second. Oh, so other than the tie downs for the F-150 you got to replace, the installation is virtually identical. Everything is very well labeled, very detailed user guide, very dense. So once you go through the installation videos and the manual, you won't have a problem. Now, can you install this by yourself? Yes, you can. Are you gonna take a few hours? Yes. Took me pretty much an afternoon. You're talking about a morning or afternoon job. Now, I installed this by myself. This was an afternoon job. If you had two people, it will go a lot faster. I would recommend if you have access to some sort of loading bay or a bench that you can line up with the tailgate, then that'll make your install job a lot easier. And then you can either start the install in the truck bed itself. There's also a few other pieces that you can prep beforehand, such as putting the drawers, getting that assembled, some of the ammo cans and C channels, so stuff like that you can get started. Installation process is exactly as it appears in the videos. There's really two tips I like to give you. One of them is do not tighten anything until you are at that spot in the manual to say to tighten. Basically, it will make your life a lot easier, save you from a lot of swearing, and that is especially true for the F-150 for those front angle brackets that we need to put at the front. You really want to keep everything nice and loose. Once you have everything adjusted, once it's all centered and stuff, then you hand tighten. So that is the biggest tip. And the other tip I have here is dealing with the wheels for the drawers. Now, the threads are kind of like cast metal, so you may want to thread the bolts first before you start installing the drawers and getting it finally installed. Yeah, as you can see here, there's not a lot of room here, and you don't have a lot of opportunity for torque, especially using the hex key with an L shape. If you're using the hex key with the corkscrew handle, that will give you a little bit more torque. But thread the bolts first, and then once you finish installing it, it'll be a lot easier. So probably the biggest thing you need to consider when you're looking for the deck is deciding whether or not you can live by losing about a foot of your truck bed depth. So we have about 9 inches left here of the truck bed. You can see here I got a couple camping chairs, and I also got a plain old sportsman trunk here, so which goes over the truck bed by a couple of inches. It really based on what you're doing and if you want to get away with it. What you can also do here is you can put a couple anchors here like I did right there, so you want to tie stuff down. I didn't opt for any of the accessories that came with it, such as the rails that you can screw in here. Also didn't put any of the locks for the drawers. That's because the tailgate kind of locks itself, so we don't need that. But you can probably see here when you're loading it up, this is probably what you're going to be looking at, right? So if you can live with this, then the deck is a good option for you. All right, last thing here is quickly take a look at the space that you have here. So one of the great things that I like about this one, I have full utilization of the truck bed. I also have a number of storage compartments. So I have 4 of these, they call them ammo cans. It's not dry, it will get wet, but you can put stuff like your bungee cords and what have you here. Here I got a little bowl in one of them. And I think in here I have a propane tank in there. There you go. You put a couple propane tanks in there and stuff for the dog, your tie downs. It just snaps in. And if you're worried, so it just kind of holds on like that. You don't have to worry about them flapping in the wind though. I have slightly smaller ones in the front, but still pretty good. Just give you an idea how much space you can put in these ammo cans. You can fit in a 6-pack plus some ice. Don't ask me how I know that, but you do. And the final big thing is you get your 2 drawers. And just to give you a size comparison, that plain old trunk is about 102 liters. This is the 1919 model. And these 2 drawers, which is about 5 feet long, a little bit more than a foot. Technically their specs is 150 liters per drawer. So I basically got 300 liters, which is, you know, about 3 of those trunks. Now, can you fit exactly? Probably not, but just to give you an idea what's in here, we just did a camping trip. I'll show you the kind of stuff that they will put in here. You can see he pulls out here water bottles for the kids or kid. Got a couple compression bags, sleeping bags, Dutch oven, blankets, some other bedding, stuff for camping. So this drawer here ends up being watertight, but not airtight. So if you're doing a lot of driving on dirt roads and dust, it will get in there. Or a very damp morning, if you have any clothing and stuff, it will feel a little damp, but it will stay dry. And this one, all right, in the other drawer, just did some camping again. Show you what we got. So Bluetooth speaker, some other doodads, knickknacks. Got a 27-liter pack here. Bicycle helmet, camping chair for kids. Got one of those Coleman even flow stoves, the ones that kind of clamshell kind of design. You can fit traditional camp stove in here, but there's still a little bit of room here. As you can see, you got quite a bit of room here. We got camp axe, umbrella, tent poles. You can fit quite a bit of stuff here. So regular camping chairs, the $10 Walmart camping chairs, you can stack a bunch in here, not a problem. For bigger items such as rifles, bows, these tall back camping chairs, it takes up quite a bit of room, so you don't maximize the space that's in there. All right, finally, how much stuff can you put on top? Well, basically you can fit a ton or ATV or snowblower, no problem. But you probably noticed the problem here when you're trying to load stuff that's a little heavier is that you got an extra 12 inches to load things up in the truck. So if you're used to just loading onto the tailgate, pushing it in, that's great. But you got to load it on, put it on the tailgate, and then lift it on there. So some of the more heavier items, or for example, this trunk here is full of camping kitchen stuff, so it's fairly heavy, not that great to wheel around. So that's mildly inconvenient. And also, if you're going to load up a snow blower or an ATV on here, your ramp is going to have to be a little bit longer to deal with the little steeper angle here. So we'll see if I need to haul my snowblower this winter, but so far loading things up, it works out pretty good. I'm actually pretty happy with it. It remains to be seen in the winter time if this top surface will be a little bit slippery or not. So far, when it gets wet and stuff like that, you know, it's not very slippery. It's no different than regular truck bed or a box liner. So kind of happy with that. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you have one, what do you do with yours? I'm just using mine for outdoor recreation, camping. Depending on the season, I might be doing some canoe kayaking. So I definitely want to load things up on the back rack here and then put paddle life jackets underneath and keep things kind of clean. And if I do need to haul something, I can just throw the bin on. I got a couple anchor points, got some webbing or some tie downs, and good to go. So, all right, that's it, boys. We'll talk to you guys next time.